And now
we went through some adjustments we want to make offensively, defensively, and film. So it was a long morning.
Defense is your background. That's your thing.
Right.
How do you have to get better playing defense against this team?
That's a great point, Steve, and it's on me. As far as getting stops, I think our schemes are good. Where we're getting in trouble is taking the challenge in the one-on-one situations. Once the schemes break down, now it comes to guarding your position. And whether it's matchups, we got to do a better job. I got to do a better job putting them in the right situation. But that's where we're struggling, is when the scheme, the pick and roll breaks down, the post-up breaks down. Our double teams and blitzes have been, the numbers on there are good. So, again, it comes down to one-on-one defense at the end of the day.
How do you match up when one of the guys that's killing you is 6'7", about 400 pounds, and looks somewhat unstoppable?
Every time I watch the film, I think about that. But, again, we can do a better job. Our individual defense can be better. Our disposition can be better. Getting lower, stronger, arm bar, forearm in those situations can be much better. And that's where we're struggling. And the word I want to use is our disposition can be better.
Sometimes in a game, there's the one guy he's going to get X amount of points, and you worry about everybody else. In this kind of game, do you look at Johnson as maybe you're going to get 20 and let everybody else not score?
Well, we want to make those a hard 20. They have two guys that you got to kind of factor that in with. What you can't do is let 3, 4, and 5 have career nights. And that's where we've been having some issues in those situations. But Joe Johnson, we're double teaming, blitzing him. Again, he's getting a lot of them in one-on-one situation and off the schemes play. So, but the third and fourth options are the guys we got to do a better job on, whoever that is.
With 2 days between games, how do you coach that? How do you teach that disposition?
Well, you got to appeal to the guys' pride, ego, intelligence, and we've got some intelligent guys on the team. And again, it's playoff basketball. And if you can't get a disposition in the right order at this time of year, this is what we all play for. Our franchise hasn't been there in a while. So if we can't get excited now about being tough, physical, fighting through screen, not complaining about it, but fighting through screens, busting through screen, not letting them hold you and get into your spot. All those things are disposition-type plays.
You said in the past you don't like to make the big drastic move, but last night you were talking about not getting anything out of one position right now. Where do you stand on that going into Game 4? We're
going to look at it. It's still a decision that hasn't been made, but we're going to look at it. Right now, we don't want to do anything drastic. Again, we're in a position, tie. If we make a couple free throws, it's a tie game going in, and we lose before. So I don't want to do anything drastic. It's not panic time, but we got to look at that situation and get more productivity out of that spot.
You talk about the turnovers being correctable.
Well,
how do you correct
ball handling, making the easy play, disposition helps that on the offensive end. Getting bumped and then losing the ball. Those type of things are where we can correct the turnovers. If we can get it down to 13, 12, somewhere in that area, 14, we're happy with that. But some of the auto passes, no-look passes, passing where we think our teammates are going to, those are things we can't correct. You're not going to turn some of our guys into Magic Johnson overnight, but we can make better decisions of things we can control in our turnovers.
Any takeaways after looking at the calls from last night?
No comment on the calls.
What percentage of the turnovers are being forced, and what would be like an unforced error in tennis?
Well, and as I mentioned, if the no-look passes, if I think a guy's rolling, I throw it to a spot, those auto passes are the one that gets in trouble. The ones that we drive in and all at once, we get bumped. And, we got to expect physicality. We got to expect to be hit in certain positions. So we got to get lower and stronger with the dribbles. Those are the things we can try to correct. And again, at this time of year, as someone mentioned, we just got to do the little things and make the easy plays compared to trying to make a home run pass in those situations. That will help us tremendously.
All year long, we've been talking about the merits of, getting Jonas, getting Terrence as much experience as possible. Obviously, Terrence is having the series he's having. Do you still feel a responsibility to like, even if his role changes, to make sure he soaks up some minutes just to get that experience?
I think he's soaking up some minutes. Both of them are soaking up big minutes. Probably, if they weren't young guys, they probably wouldn't be, if that wasn't our future and our direction, they probably wouldn't be in there with some of the mistakes they're making. But, they're our guys. They got to learn. This is their first playoff. I expect a lot of their mistakes. So we got to ride. We're going to ride with them in those situations.
Just must be getting tougher.
Well, it is. Well, it's tough, but at the same time, they're a big part of the reason why we're here. The way they played as sophomores, and the mistakes they're making are freshman and sophomore mistakes in the playoffs, which is very rare. So that's a good point, Ian. I'm not blind to the fact that they are our future, and the only way they're going to learn is to go through it. So the amount of time may be a little shorter, but still they got to go through it.
So you guys win if you're giving up 20 points a game, the deficit of the two-guard spot?
Well, I mean, what did we do in Game 2? What was it in Game 2? We won Game 2, and I thought we were at a deficit in Game 2. We didn't get a lot of productivity. So, yes, cut down on the turnovers, huge. Picking up our disposition on the defensive end, guarding our guy one-on-one is huge. Getting that productivity would help a lot. It would help. But I think the turnovers would help.
You don't got to win the matchup, but you got to make it closer.
You got to hold serve. Got to hold serve in those situations. So I think that's important.
It was a bit of a smaller sample size yesterday, but seemed like Andrew did a good job in the second quarter on Joe Johnson. How much of a give and take is it with him there in that position? And at what point is it almost worth it to give up some offense for the defense?
It's give and take. You sacrifice some offense for defense, and I thought he's done a heck of a job. I thought both guys have done a good job defensively against Joe Johnson. I know John came in and did an excellent job against him, holding his spot. But then you do suffer a little bit with spacing, productivity on the offensive end. But again, we got to find ways to get them involved, whether it's cutting, offensive boards, screening, running the floor, to get something out of that spot where they can't just load up and guard, be 5-on-4 on the defensive end. Not saying they're doing that, but we want to make sure we do get something out of it offensively.
Are they doing anything different on Kyle? They did 9 shots last night. What are they doing?
They're blitzing him. They're getting the ball on. He comes off on pick and rolls. He's got 2 guys there. We got to give him some outlets. He may have to sacrifice and create some shots for someone else, and get his in transition or running the floor in other ways. But they're trying to take he and DeMar out. We're ready for that, and we just got to burn them and make sure we make them pay for it and not let them just get away with it.
Not a big surprise if they would do that at all.
No surprise whatsoever. I mean, we've worked on it for a couple of days, and we just got to make them pay once they do it.
How up on the board?
He's banged up. He's got busted stitches in his lip, knee bummed up and hit. But I would bet my house he would play tomorrow.